I kind of learned that I had a life, not running two companies. Running one company was satisfying. That was the thing of like, this is what I'm doing. I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. That's how I lead. I'm like, it is not your client or my client, it's the salon's client. So whatever is best for that client.
All right, so I have Sabrina with Babydoll Hair Salon. I found you actually through the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. When I first joined, there was like a welcome pack and there was a coupon for you guys. So I took advantage of that and met you, and that's how our relationship started. But why don't you tell everyone else like who you are and what it is you do, and we'll start with that.
So, like you said, my name's Sabrina. I am the owner of Babydoll Hair Salon. We are located in Mesa off of Stapley and Southern. We've actually been in business for 12 years, but we've been at that location for 10.
Wow.
So I'm the owner, but I also work behind the chair still. And then one of the product lines that we use, well, we only use a product line brand called Lonza. I'm also a level 2 educator for them. So I also get to travel every once in a while to other salons in other states and get to teach hair for whatever that salon might need.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't realize that. How often do you do that?
Yeah, it's basically as it's a contract. So as needed, I mean, they'll reach out to me. And then sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, I've done like 3 classes in the last 2.5 months, and then I won't have anything for 2.5 months. So it's also, once other stylists get to know you, then they can request you. So I've gone back to a couple salons. I really like teaching in Utah because it's so beautiful. And then you also get to go do things while you're there.
Oh, great. So you're the owner, you're the founder. Did you have a moment like, I'm gonna go do this. This is gonna happen. What was that like?
Yeah, honestly, so I started back like in high school, the programs that you can go to beauty school, and we toured the beauty school, but we weren't able to make it work because I was also on cheer. So it was like, oh, you'd miss too many classes or you'd miss too many games. So it was kind of just put in the rearview mirror and kind of never looked back there and proceeded forward more of the traditional, went to ASU, got my degree, was more in corporate America. And, at that time, the way of the world was like, I was always very event heavy. My degree was broadcast management. So I was very event heavy with working for Camel Country or interning for Fox 10 and just more towards marketing and events, and internet was the way of the world. And so I went and got an internet job and I hated it. I was stuck in a cubicle. I would get reprimanded because I would talk too much. And they just that environment of being in a cubicle and they just want you to work and put out. I did email marketing for a company. So it was like, great, that email made X dollars. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And it wasn't me.
Mm.
And so I kind of took a step back and then I was like, well, I had always loved beauty school. I had my hair person has been my mentor and was like, go do it, go do it. And I'm like, I'm too old to go to beauty school. Go do it, go do it. So I talked to my fiance and was like, how do you feel if I did this? It'd be a commitment because I'd have to go to night school. And so that's kind of what it morphed. And so when I was in school, I was like, that was the thing of like, this is what I'm doing. I don't want to work for somebody else anymore. And so, yeah, so in school, I had one of my coworkers at my marketing job help me start designing. She was a graphic designer. And I was like, help me design the logo. And so, yeah, that was the moment of like, I mean, I was in school for about a year because it was work full time, go to school at night. So it took about a year. And then, yeah, I just went for it.
I love that. So you're the technician who does the work, but then also the business owner, marketing person. So I think that's really good for businesses to have, like, like the industry knowledge and then also management knowledge. And I think that's really great. That's a lot of entrepreneurs that I know and run into. Like they're the technician that said, I want this, but also I want to be the boss of this. So I love that. That's great. So working during the day, going to school at night, sounds like that was challenging. Did you have any other like big challenges along the way? Any kind of hurdles you had to get over?
I think my dad was a challenge. I think the stigma of you're just a hairstylist. He
Uh,
really wanted me to go get my real estate license. And I'm like, well, that doesn't also feel like my passion. So yeah, I think he was a challenge. Both of my parents also owned their own business. He didn't want me to do that. He'd been there, done that, knew the struggles. It was like, I don't want you to have those struggles. Please use your degree, go work for corporate, just do that. And you'll be better off. So he was definitely a challenge.
So, and if I remember, did he end up helping you like do any kind of
Oh,
redecorating or
he
something?
built the whole thing.
Amazing. So he got on board.
He was pretty much my contractor. So yeah, I was renting a small suite and so I was doing hair. And so during the day when I was doing hair, he was building the and doing the drywall. And then I would, and one of my other stylists that I went to school with who was working with me, her and I would go there at night and paint or clean up. And yeah, it was definitely a family affair.
Oh, that's great. It's exciting. It's work, but it's also fun and exciting when it's something you're interested in and this is something you're building. So that's great. I'm glad he got on board and
Yeah.
had all that experience he could use for you. So is there are a lot of salons in the valley. I love your vibe inside. Would you say that or anything else separates you from other salons around?
Honestly, I honestly that like the culture or like you said, the vibe, we get a lot of feedback on that. And it's just one of those, I think it does come down to we are team oriented and like that's how I lead. I'm like, it is not your client or my client, it's the salon's client. So whatever is best for that client. Like even though they were in your chair on this day, they might be in another stylist chair the other day, and we need to make that client feel comfortable because sometimes you as a client you might feel like you're hurting somebody's feelings because you didn't rebook with them. And it's one of those, it's like it's individual choice for the client. And it also, I think at the end of the day, what we kind of teach is look, you're going to go on vacation, you're going to get sick, like things are going to happen. If we create an environment that the clients come back to the salon, they may not just go to you for that one time because you were sick, but then they might come right back into your chair. So I have been like, it is kind of my podium and like my hard hill that I'm gonna die on of like, you guys have to not think that it's your client, it's the salon's client. And they may just have something more in common with that other stylist than you. Didn't mean you do a bad job, but we do need to build that community that they can feel comfortable going to anyone.
Great. That's awesome. So it's been a while since I've been in. I do live like an hour away from you guys now, but I think you guys were adding a lot more chairs. Is that accurate? Like you guys are growing?
Yes, and then no. It kind of was a little fast moving. So, as you know, but other people may not, I also owned another company called Babydoll Weddings. And so that one I was running two different companies, the salon, freestanding, cuts, colors, extensions, waxing, and then Babydoll Weddings was more offsite and more freelance artists that would just only do hair and makeup for weddings. Everything got a little too much for me, especially with COVID.
Yeah.
So, as we all during COVID just kind of took a step back. And so I decided to see if I could release the weddings company and sell it. So it took about 6 months and I found somebody that wanted to buy it. So I was before COVID working on expanding the salon. We were a 12 station salon, 10 to 12. And we were looking to expand it. And we did. We expanded in, and it took like 2 years just because contractors and then things went up. And then I didn't want to do that with the budget. And so we finally got that other side open about the same time that I sold the weddings. So it was all this is like had all of this vision of growth, 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 growth. And then COVID kind of halted it. And then you do feel that pressure of you told everybody what you were going to do. So you feel that pressure. Well, I told everybody I was going to do this, so I need to do it so I don't look like a failure. So I opened the other side. And so then we were a total of 18 stations. The new owners of the company were renting 2 stations so they would do trials and stuff. And then as I kind of learned that I had a life, not running 2 companies, running one company was satisfying, I was like, oh, maybe I want to pull back more. So after
Got
about
it.
a year, year and a half, the owners of the wedding business, I approached them and said, because we went from 1,800 square feet to 2,700 square feet. So then I said, hey, would you have enough business and want the whole suite? So then we kind of worked together. And so even though I opened the walls, I closed the walls back up. I'm back down to 1,800 square feet and thriving with 10 to 12 stations.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
a
So it
few
was a
things.
blip of an
Yeah.
amazing growth and then was like, I really like the sweet spot.
So no, that's great. That's a segue into another question. But first, congrats on selling that business. That's got to be an
Yeah.
awesome feeling to build something and then let it go.
I always thought that I would go because I had it for 10, 11 years. And I always thought like one of the other stylists would take it on, or like I always thought I would sell it to somebody I knew in the industry. I didn't know it's a husband and wife that bought it. I didn't know them at all before this. Very strange, very uncomfortable feeling. I don't know how I got so blessed, but they are the nicest.
Good.
And we just really work well with the team as a team because everyone's like, wait, you let them open up right next door to you? Aren't they a salon? Are they? I'm like, well, they're different. But I'm like, yeah, they're amazing. We all look out for each other. So that was interesting.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And then as far as segue, next question is like work-life balance. So sounds like you did have to find the balance and step back a bit.
Yeah. I think not to sound like too like negative, but I don't think there is such thing as work-life
Right.
balance. I really don't. I think you have a moment of it and you have a really good week or you have a really good month and then something slides in and then you all of a sudden don't have work-life balance anymore. So it just got to a point where it was too much because I was trying to be the leader of the salon. I was still taking clients behind the chair, trying to be the leader of weddings, doing weddings. And I mean, every chance I got, I would do the work, I'd come home, I'm building timelines for the brides, I'm responding to the brides, and it just got to be too much, just way too much. And so I just had to pull back, and it really was like the best thing, like you said, finding work-life balance. I got a little peek of it, and I am a lot happier.
Oh, good. Yeah, and I think you said you didn't want to like disappoint anybody or make it look like you couldn't accomplish what you said you would. I think that's something a lot of us might struggle with, but then we have to remember like it's okay to pivot.
Yeah, it
Never
was
plan.
honestly once I put it out there, because you do keep a lot of it in. And once I put it out there of that, because it was either sell or dissolve. And we had the both plans and like we listed it and was hoping it would sell, but it was like it was coming up on that 2 month of like, okay, if nobody buys it in the next 2 months, we are dissolving that business. And that did feel like a little bit of a failure, give up. And once I started telling people, the reaction was like, good for you. Good for you. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know how you've been doing it. I don't know how you've been doing it all these years. I don't. And I was like, wait, nobody's been telling me this until I'm now putting it out there.
So you have your own standards of what you thought would happen, and people are like, you're already surpassing what we thought was possible. So that's got to feel good.
Yeah, the support it was a relief. It was a relief.
Good. So kind of transitioning a bit for the salon, what do you guys do for marketing? And what have you tried that's failed? What's working for you now? If you're okay sharing that, like what do you do for marketing?
Yeah. So there's two, I think, roads of marketing. So one, we still market to our current clients. Obviously, they need to feel recognized and supported. So if they're already a client of ours, we do things like we have a loyalty points program. We send newsletters out them with like hair tips or what our product focus is or anything like that to kind of keep them involved. Of course, posting our befores and afters and on social media, and hopefully one of theirs pops up. And then there's the how do we always get new clients in? So we do have a new client to offer under specials on our website. And then we definitely do some Facebook ads or Instagram ads. And then our referral program is usually the best and the most way we get clients. And so if somebody is a client of ours, we tell them if you refer 3 clients to us, your next regular service is on us.
Nice.
So that has worked really, really well. And then a lot of like, I call it grassroots. Like we would reach out to we're in the East Valley. So there's a lot of like RV or older 55 and older communities. They always have events or, there are donuts and chat where you can go have a table there. Like in the beginning, that is what we did to bust down doors to be like, hey, here's who we are. Like, come see us. So that's pretty much what's worked the best for us.
Nice. So kind of a boots on the ground
Mhm.
networking.
Oh my gosh, I tell the girls all the time, I'm like, quit ordering your Uber Eats, go to the coffee shop, bring your cards. I will let you leave to go on break. But oh my gosh, yeah, they just like to, that's another way we market, but they pay for it. I used to get so mad with there being, 15 to 16 of us at the salon. There'd be DoorDash or Uber Eats that would come to the salon probably 4 or 5 times a day. And I'm like, you guys coordinate and we all just order lunch together or like, again, quit spending your money this way. And then I finally was like, you know what? That is one more client or one more person that walked in that didn't know the salon was here. So I just
Hey,
let
there
them
you
keep
go.
ordering now. It's another way they market.
Awesome. So you're adapting.
Yes.
So what does the future look like for you in the salon? Do you have like a 5-year plan, or is it just let things do what they're doing for now, that you pulled back a little bit?
A bit of both. I think right now was the next step was the pullback. And so I'm in that change right now. The goal for us in the salon, both me and my manager, is always to have all stations filled. We're open 6 days a week. So that has been definitely challenging because, well, I first started the salon with 6 stations. Then I went to eight. Then I went to 10. Then I went to 12. Then I went to 18. Then I pulled back to 12. So every time we're like, oh, yeah, we have all 6 stations filled. I was like, nah, just kidding. We're adding 2 more stations. So now you got to fill those. So that's always been the goal is to have every single station that we have operating all the days. And that could be tough because when you're a new stylist, and we get a lot of new stylists because we do have a good training program. And that's tough because if you're new, you don't have a clientele. So they're
Mhm.
only working like maybe two, at most 3 days a week when they first start out. And then we can add days. So then that chair is only operating 50% of the time. So that's always the goal is to have all stations filled all the days.
Got it. Yeah. So something I noticed, you have like a high-end salon feel, and let me know if I'm wrong, but your prices seemed incredibly reasonable compared to other high-end salons. So I really appreciated that. And as far as getting good helpers in, is that something that they find beneficial, like especially if they're new? Like, also, how are you able to do that?
Yeah, honestly, it goes back to the area. So yes, I feel like, and I know this might be like funny. I'm this like amazing like little salon in this like transitional area. So it has been fortunate, if I were to up and move, and we've talked many times of moving the location, but if I'm going into like Gilbert or downtown Chandler and Scottsdale, obviously the rent is higher. So
Got it.
for us, we are in, maybe a not as popular area, but my landlord is amazing. And so I've been there for 10 years. And part of it is I don't think he is a traditional commercial landlord owner.
Okay.
I can call and work directly with him. I don't have to go through all these property managements. He has worked with me when my parents and I were looking for a retail space. I mean, we looked a lot and then we got contracts and he was great. I got to go through the contract and it was the scariest leap because I'm reading all these legal things that I don't know about. And I was like, well, all right, I'm going to write in everything that I want changed and see if he'll give it to me. And he did. And the one thing that sold us, as he said, because I was so hesitant to sign the dotted line because it was a lot of money without even opening the doors. And he's like, look, I have a daughter around your age, and I promise that I'll have your best interest at heart.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, what commercial person says
Yeah.
that? They just want the paycheck. And he always is. He's like, look, he's like, if something is not working here, I will always let you out of your lease.
Oh, nice.
So it's just uncommon. And so I stay where I'm at because he's very good to us. It is lower rent because it is, what people might say not as in a desirable area. But I also stay because I'm also right off the freeway. So I like that too.
Yeah, that is nice. That's awesome. So it's kind of going back to community. You had boots on the ground, marketing, and then this community, you found somebody really easy to work with. And then you're also just looking at your website again, you're also Community Choice Award winner for salons. So that's awesome. So you really
Yeah.
deliver, and it's very cool. So you've got a great location, great clientele, and you do great work. I think that's awesome.
Thanks.
You're doing
Sometimes
that.
that is sometimes you don't view that when you are just like on the computer. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta pay QuickBooks. Yeah. So sometimes it is nice to stop and pause like this when you say like nice things. I'm like, oh, yeah, we do have all of that.
That's awesome because you're a business owner and you're thinking about the next thing you got to do. So that's great. So if you could go back in time, what's some advice you would give yourself just starting out?
Couple things. Like one, don't be afraid to ask for help. For sure, 100%. Ask for help, ask for help, ask for help. There's so many times where I was like, I'll research it, I'll figure it out, I'll do it, I'll read, I'll go to, I reach out to like SCORE who helps like business. It's one of those things it was like I put so much time and effort where I could have just went to somebody who already had years of experience doing that.
Yeah.
But so a little stubborn. And I would think anyone overall, not just me, I guess it would be something is it's hard because it's hindsight. You don't know what you don't know. But the first 3, 4 years into it, I could have definitely knew the back end part of it more. They always say, or, they in life, like, oh, you need your accountant, you need your lawyer, you need, those
Yeah,
things. I definitely feel like having my handbook more figured out and understanding the numbers, I feel like those two things would have grounded me a lot faster.
got it. Yeah, that's
HR is a pain in the butt, and I am a very transparent person. And I just sometimes say it how it is, which is not very HR friendly.
yeah.
So I have to have somebody else do that.
Yeah, no, I prefer blunt, like tell me what the issue is, but no, yeah, HR
Well,
friendly is
legally, I can't do that sometimes.
oh man. Well, that's good advice. Like get HR.
Yeah, I'm like, I needed my handbook more and then understanding the numbers more.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this. Is there anything else you want to share? I think you guys just had a toy drive. Is that all wrapped up?
Yeah,
Or
that's wrapped up. So we, as a salon, I guess, I mean, it sounds hard, I require, but I do. It is, we do a quarterly charity event.
oh, nice.
So whether that is doing the Feed My Starving Children, sometimes we'll do haircuts for Save the Family, which helps displaced people who are currently homeless. And then we do the toy drive. So just once a quarter, there is some type of charity. We try to keep it in Mesa since we're in Mesa. Sometimes we kind of go, actually, I'm kind of bummed. Feed My Starving Children moved to Tempe recently, so it's no longer in Mesa. So we're trying to find another place where we can go. But yeah, quarterly, we do some type, again, sometimes they come in and we're giving free haircuts away. Sometimes we go out and pack food or organize backpack drives or anything for whatever that charity needs help with.
Oh, that's great. Well, so where can people find the salon? You're on Instagram.
Yeah, so we're Instagram, Facebook, Google, Yelp. Google and Yelp has been honestly also the best. I have a love-hate relationship with Yelp, but Yelp and Google are really good to us as far as just people searching. I think just the longevity that we've been at the same location, same website, all of that. Um, I mean, I don't know who helped me with my website.
I'll put it in the notes.
Yes. I honestly really think that all of that, especially when somebody searches, that has been so good for us to pop up. It's just the longevity. And not
Awesome.
only the longevity of the salon, but like I have some stylists. I mean, I got two of them that have been with me for 8 years.
That's
So
awesome. That says a lot about your turnover too, as far as your culture. It's not a
yeah,
new stylist every 3 months.
I
That's
think that
awesome.
helps us a lot. You always have that. I'm like, I have my core, and then you always have these that kind of rotate. But it's tough. Like the business is tough for, new people starting out to gravitate to get clients. I think one other thing that kind of sets us apart is we are a commission salon, and it's a dying industry for the commission salons because everybody wants to be their own boss and go into the suites and or booth rent. So I think that is one of those things that set us apart because it helps us to have more consistency because we all train together
Hmm.
versus walking into a salon where everyone's a booth rental, which that means they're all their own business. So the commission salons are far and few nowadays.
Got it. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Um,
Thank you, Maggie. This
yeah.
is super fun. I haven't done something like this for a really long time. But he always wanted to talk about weddings and weddings and weddings.
Well, I love this salon, so we'll keep it salon.